Yo, what's up, KEOIAN gang? We are back with another one. Doing a reaction to the truth about Bronny James playing in the NBA. It's gonna be a quick little minute. Want to see what Flight thinks about this stat chart. So that's pretty much hop into today's video.
What it do, flight crew?
FTC.
Flight team, stand up! It's true! Hey, man. We gonna have to rock the early 2000s Nelly look for the next month. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Little accident happened in the IRL. You know what I'm saying? Today. You guys shall see that soon. The truth about Bronny James playing in the NBA. Let's check it out.
With the 2024 NBA draft in the
already
books,
gave my thoughts and wishes to Bronny. Have nothing but full support over here by FTC. And I'm calling out he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's going to be an NBA All-Star. Let's see Jimmy High Roller's opinion on this.
There is one major discussion
All right,
that
come on,
has
Jimmy High
dominated
Rolls.
the NBA space over the last week. It isn't about the #1 overall pick. It isn't about the outlook of these.
Now, me and a lot of people, quite a few people, are talking about this. Even some people at work. And they are disagreeing on this, that he shouldn't have been drafted into the same team. Undoubtedly, there was another family that whose father is an NBA All-Star, and his sons are like tall, light-skinned, and they play basketball. But if he was still in the NBA, then they would have been the first family to have been indicted into the NBA to play pretty much on the same team. But since Bron, has pretty much control over the Lakers, he has that swing to say, I want to bring my son on board. But then I was telling a lot of people that it doesn't give Bronny the chance to sit there and really work on himself because he has to live up to these expectations that his father set. And that his team expects out of him to be like his father, so, and then it's like once, Bron gets ready to jump, retire, it won't be fair to the team because then it'll be like Bronny will probably get his spot on the team and be the leader, and it's not fair to the rest of the team that's been there, So, I'm not down in Bronny because he's actually a good player, but I just want the equality of the team to be there. But I don't have to say a control of that.
These teams going into next season, it's about a late second-round pick, and for good reason. Because his name is LeBron James, and he's going to play in the NBA with LeBron James. It's a weird and unprecedented circumstance that the NBA has never encountered before. A player who many fans consider to be the greatest of all time playing in the NBA with his own son. A story so strange, you'd think the NBA scriptwriters outsourced their work to ChatGPT, picked the most batshit result, and called it a day. But after 2 years of speculation,
that gift was crazy.
Certainty that Bronny James will be an NBA player. And right on cue, the criticism of his merits and value as a future player in the NBA have already came pouring in. Yep. Scouts and GMs claiming Bronny as a prospect isn't even worth using and pouring in. Scouts and
no one really wants him unless they're getting LeBron. Parsons said of Bronny, he's not this next big
GMs claiming Bronny as a prospect isn't even worth using a late second-round pick on, and that the real value lies in his last name and the leverage it comes with. But how valuable is a second-round pick, really? And is Bronny a legitimate NBA player, or is he only in conversation solely because of who his dad is?
Legitimate NBA player.
Yeah, he's a legitimate player, Joe. I gotta give him that.
I gotta be on the phone with Bronny.
Yo. Bro, hey, I mean, shit. Bronny's gonna average about, 30 or 40 minutes a game off the rip, you guys think?
Yeah. That's if he gets put onto the floor,
Okay, can't be that hard. Hello.
I mean, sheesh. Bro, he's gonna come out there with a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna prove a lot of y'all wrong, man. I'm
Today's
excited.
Video is sponsored.
Next NBA season's gonna be one for the damn agents.
Just smoke code app.
Rate that.
This is Ken Griffey, former major leaguer and 3-time All-Star. This is Ken Griffey Jr., son of Ken Griffey. And in 1990,
What? I didn't know. Wait. So Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. They was dad and son. Bro, I remember Ken Griffey though. I don't know if it was a junior or it was a Griffey. Ken Griffey, yeah, bro. Sometimes like, I don't ever watch baseball like that, but like you trying to wait for like the highlights to come on back in the day before. Like I'm talking about like when I was in middle school type shit. You waiting for like the highlights to come on or whatever on ESPN and then the baseball come up. I knew a couple of baseball players. You know what I'm saying? Ken Griffey is a dog. Bro, I didn't know there was two different people, though. I thought it was just one person the whole time, the junior. I don't know.
These two did one of the coolest things a father and son can possibly do. They played in the MLB together. And when I say together, I don't just mean they played in the MLB at the same time. They were on the same team. In fact, they weren't just on the same team. They shared the same outfield with each other.
Yo.
It's probably the rarest and most badass
Dog, that shit is inspirational. I like
thing you'll
that
ever
right
see in
here,
sports. Making it to the big leagues is
bro.
one
Don't let it go over your head. Father and son right here, bro. Especially, this is like the late 80s and 90s, too. I like this.
But
I
playing in
didn't
the
even
big
know that. That's crazy.
leagues next to your kid is a club exclusive
cool as
to
hell.
only these two. If that wasn't incredible enough, on September 14th, 1990, the Griffeys pulled off something that you will never see again in your lifetime.
And you're back up there now.
What they do?
Well hit to center field. Devon White going back. Gone! A
Ooh.
two-run home run.
When they hit home runs in the same game?
And he hits one to the left center field. Dante Bichette. Back-to-back home run.
When they get it done.
What else can these guys do?
That's
The Griffeys were
fire,
great,
bro.
and they were the first
That is
and
so fire.
only father-son duo
shit.
in the history of Major League Baseball. But they weren't the first father-son duo in professional sports. This is Gordie Howe, one of the greatest players to ever touch the ice. He won 4 Stanley Cups, 6
NHL.
MVPs, held the NHL record for total career points at the time of his retirement, and is a member of the NHL's 100th anniversary team. Gordie had an incredible pro career as a hockey player, and yet out of all of his accomplishments, the coolest thing he ever did was this. This is Mark and Marty Howe, Gordie's sons. And
Oh,
he
wow.
played professional hockey with them in both the WHA and the NHL for 5 seasons.
Oh, that's
Now,
fire.
if you're thinking, that guy looks a
Wow.
little old to be playing professional sports, you're right. Gordie began his career in the NHL in 1946 when
Damn.
he was just 18 years old.
Damn.
By the
Damn.
time he retired for good, he was 51.
Damn.
Damn, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That is an absolute inspirational yo.
That
y'all
is-
hear that bro, you're
that's
coming
crazy.
to a professional league at 18 years
And
old
you go all the way
and
to
have a
51.
nice longevity. That's like 30 fucking years, and then retires at 51. Like, bro, if that's not inspiration, I don't know what is, bro.
That stretch from the 1940s to
Bro, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That would make me be on superior crash out energy, bro. If you talking about someone that's like 47 years old busting your ass, it don't matter what sport it is, bro. Hockey, baseball, basketball, football, bro. Like, that has to make people feel some type of way, bro.
Mhm.
Especially if it's like a blowout or something. Or I wonder how many rings he also won, like probably like past like the age of 35 to 51. At least I want to guess like 3 or 5, right? Like the other teams definitely had to have not been able to sleep for that whole year, just off that like muscle, and especially if their whole team was like what, 20 in the 30s, low
the
30s.
1980s.
Damn.
And only with a career like this can a player even have a shot at playing in the league together with their son. Why exactly am I talking about home runs and Gordie Howe? Well, because they're awesome, but also because of these two and what they're about to accomplish in their own sport. LeBron and Bronny James, who are on track to being the first father and son duo to play together in the NBA. An idea that seemed far-fetched when LeBron first mentioned it years ago, but has now become a reality. But how legitimate is Bronny's spot in the league? And is the backlash towards the Lakers selecting him with a second-round pick in the draft warranted? Well, to answer this question, we first need to know just how good Bronny is as a prospect and as an incoming NBA player. Right now, NBADraft.net has Bronny rated at an 88 overall across their 12 prospect metrics.
Oh, that's pretty
This overall
solid.
rating is at an 88 overall.
I wonder what his 2K rating is gonna be. Yeah, the 88 overall off the muscle. Just like I like that. Let me see what they have online as athleticism 8. To be honest, I feel like his athleticism is gonna slowly get a little bit like better too. If you even like been noticing too since like pandemic, Bronny's like dunk package is like shot up tremendously from like 2021 and 22, and then 23. And then you talking about, you got size 7, defense 7, strength 8, quickness 8, leadership 8, jump shot 7, NBA ready 6, ball handling. I feel like the ball handling should be at like 9. Everything's pretty solid.
Across their 12 prospect metrics.
Nothing
This
under
overall
5.
rating puts Bronny
Everything
on
above
the
5.
Like, he win the second rank. Basically got
So is he doing Bronny's stuff or?
an 88 Lakers selecting him with a second-round pick in the draft warranted? Well, to answer this question, we first need to know just how good Bronny is as a prospect and as an incoming NBA player. Right now, NBADraft.net has Bronny rated at an 88 overall across their 12 prospect metrics.
Oh, that's pretty
this overall
solid.
rating
Yeah,
at
that's
an 88
solid,
overall.
solid.
I wonder what his 2K rating is gonna be. Yeah, the 88 overall off the muscle. Just like, I like that. Let me see what they have online as athleticism 8. To be honest, I feel like his athleticism is gonna slowly get a little bit like better too. If you even like been noticing too, since like pandemic, Bronny's like dunk package is like shot up tremendously from like 2021 and 22, and then 23, and then you talking about, you got size 7, defense 7, strength 8, quickness 8, leadership 8, jump shot 7, NBA ready 6, ball handling. I feel like the ball handling should be at like 9. Everything's pretty solid.
Across their 12 prospect metrics. This overall rating puts Bronny on
Especially
the
like
low
too, he
end.
won the second rank. They basically got an 88 over. The Lakers got an 88 overall player in the second round. If you're talking about, that's not the biggest steal, and at least the top 5 biggest steals in sports draft history, bro, I don't know what is. Because like, what other prospect was like anything above an 85 overall in the second round? So
Of all second-round picks and future prospects over the last 3 years, but well within range of your typical mid to late first-rounder. Now, here are Bronny's numbers during his 1 season of college basketball.
Oh,
5
that's-
points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists a game on 47, 30, 69% shooting splits. Now, these numbers, especially from a relatively
It's not good
undersized
looking.
guard, do not scream NBA potential. But for perspective, here are the average collegiate stats from every late second-round pick that played college basketball over the last 5 years. And even when compared to late second-round picks, Bronny's numbers aren't nearly as impressive. In fact, Bronny is
this
arguably
is probably going to be the biggest argument that everybody's going to be trying to throw in my face. Like, Flight, like, okay, so you're saying all this about, this and that, and then look at these stats right here. I'm looking at them right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this once again because I seen it firsthand for myself when I had the time to watch full sports games growing up. Bro, I've literally seen certain college players put up 25 plus per game and be lottery picks and complete literal, like, bro, like, I would drop them off 11 zip type shit. Like, they was absolutely scrubs in the NBA, bro. And I've seen players, and the number one player that really changed my mind and the thought process on you thinking that college ball is anything near NBA was literally Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was a top 5 point guard prospect coming in to the University of Memphis. So you can't sit up here and say he was just on this and that, ranked this and that. He came out of Simeon High School in Chicago, and then went to Memphis, bro. Like, he was literally already like a top 10 NBA player. NBA prospect, draft prospect in his first year at Memphis, bro. If you go back and look at that stat line, matter of fact, bro, we're gonna back up everything I'm gonna say. This is what we're gonna start doing going into 2025, bro. We're gonna start just pulling up stats. We're gonna start pulling up stats to back up what we're talking about, bro. Because, bro, I'm so super serious, bro. Memphis college stats. All right. Now I want you guys to look at this. I hope they can show the games. Okay, here we go. 07-08. Literally 7th grade reacts. Okay. Here we go. All right. So the reason why you should never trust college basketball stats versus NBA stats or NBA potential and everything, trying to base it off of there. Okay. Bro, I personally am a top 5 number 1 Derrick Rose fan of all time, bro. I sat up here and witnessed this. Now, look at this game log of 07-08. Look at these games, okay? Now, 17-21, 17-24. We're not going to sit up here and act like that's bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's obviously amazing. But are we going to be able to act like Bronny wasn't similarly putting up those similar numbers when he was in USC. And also the given fact, you guys are remembering he was off limited minutes for like damn near 70% of the season because of his heart, you know what I'm saying, condition. All right, so look at this game right after 24, after the 24 points, 4 points. Guys, I promise you, don't even sit up here and lie to me. In this day and age in social media, if a prospect that everybody is hyping up drops 4 points in a damn college game, you guys are on ahead. All right, so you see it, 4 points. You know what I'm saying? And I think I actually remember this game too. And the crazy thing is, because I was just such a huge, you know what I'm saying, Derrick Rose, like, you know what I'm saying, fan. Like, I even thought that was impressive, just him getting like just a couple of layups, or the way he would just like push the ball up the floor, or he would get assists. All right, so you have the next game, 19, which again, this is Bronny's type of like point range. I just want you guys to hear me out what I'm saying. The next game, 9 points. The next game, 4 points. You're gonna sit up here and tell me, bro, if any other college player was putting up that, you guys would be on his head, literally. All right, so like literally, basically what I'm saying is that I literally seen Rose from the college level, and then when he got to the summer league, he was averaging like 4 or 5 points in the summer league. Go look it up. All right, he was averaging like 4 or 5 points in the summer league, bro. They was already trying to write off Rose, saying that all he could do is just drive. He doesn't really have a jump shot, which he didn't have that much of a jump shot, to be honest with you, coming right out of college. He developed it into like his second or third year MVP season when he got to the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? And that's why also Bronny, I'm pretty sure he's going to grow to like maybe 6'3 to 6'4. And also, you know what I'm saying, he's going to develop more of a jump shot. People are talking about he doesn't have a consistent jump shot, this and that. There's so much room to, you know what I'm saying, improve for that. All the nonetheless, I hope that is a lesson why you should never trust college stats. And there's not even just Derrick Rose. There's so many other like NBA All-Star / Hall of Famers, bro, that literally have that similar stat line in college. Okay, maybe we can even think about something else. Kyrie, for example. Now, if you remember, I believe Kyrie actually got injured. You know what I'm saying? And he still declared for the draft. They didn't have that much of any type of like, you know what I'm saying, thought process on, how is he going to play this and that. Instant superstar, man. You know, so I think he's gonna Bronny's gonna turn it up.
College prospect in NBA history. Here is a list of every player in the entire history of the NBA to be selected in the first 2 rounds of the draft that averaged less than 5 points.
Let's see this. The average less than 5 points.
This
is
like
Jimmy Howard.
College.
Nah, that can't be right.
And 3 assists a game in college. And that's it. Just 3 players who were selected in the NBA draft with college numbers equal to or less than Bronny's college numbers. Pair that with the fact that these prospects had at least the benefit of having NBA frames and physical tools to be potentially built off of, and the case for Bronny warranting a pick in the NBA draft becomes more and more difficult to make. But to really demonstrate exactly where Bronny falls amongst other second-round picks, here is a chart of every college basketball player selected in the second round of the draft over the last 10 years, with box plus minus on the x-axis and minutes per game on the y-axis.
What? No way Brunson went in the second round.
298 selections spanning 10 drafts. More than half of these players not even in the NBA today. Where's Bronny? He's right here. Most late draft picks, even the guys who go on to not
Bronny gonna make history. He gonna prove, he's gonna be top 0.1% to like make history in that.
You think so?
Round.
Make a roster in the league were first or maybe second options in their college program. Bronny, on the other hand, was an undersized rotational player on a sub-500 team. It does.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right.
It doesn't take an NBA scout to know that Bronny James's collegiate career wasn't that of your typical second-round draft pick. But how good is the typical second-round pick? With the rise of second-round sleepers in recent history, most notably players like Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson, Herb Jones, and Jordan Clarkson, the potential value of a second-round pick in the NBA draft is about as high as it's ever been. With the help of advanced advanced metrics, the curtain has been pulled back on the value even a solid role player can provide to a winning team. Prospect scouting has gotten more comprehensive than ever before, and these second-round picks have held considerable weight within recent trades around the NBA. But how valuable does that truly make them? Gathered from 10 years worth of draft classes from 2013 to 2022, data shows that, on average, out of the 30 players drafted in the second round, about 6 of them won't even suit up in the NBA. That's about 1 in every 5 players selected in the second round that will never see a minute of action in the league.
Damn.
Out of the 24 players who do make a roster in their rookie season, about 17 of them end up playing.
Let's see. He said 1 out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Count this as so the first 5. That's 1 out of 5. That's 2 out of 5. 1 out of 5. That's 5 out of 5. 0 out of 5. It's 1 out of 5, and it's 1 out of 5. Yeah.
Out of the 24 players who do make a roster in their rookie season, about 17 of them end up playing a second season in the NBA. Of those 17 players that are good enough to stick around for more than a few seasons, only about 8 of them will go on to be a role player or rotational level player. Go one step further, and on average, only 4 of these second round picks will become a starting caliber player in their career. That's about 1 in every 8 players selected in the second round. And finally, of the 298 players selected in the second round of the draft from 2013 to 2022, only 2 of them became All-Stars. Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson. If we think
Whoa,
about who
what?
became All-Stars,
Jokic was a second round pick?
Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson. If we think about the last 10 years of second round picks on a scale of box plus minus, with Nikola Jokic being
Wow. Jokic is really so. Hey, that means Bronny, the skies are unlimited, bro. Jokic is damn near one of the faces of the NBA, and he's a second round pick. I thought he was a top 5 draft pick this whole fucking time.
one end and the players who don't even make a roster on the other, then most players aren't in the middle. In fact, they're not even close. Most second round picks fall way down here, somewhere in between what Basketball Reference would classify as an end of the bench player and out of the league. When considering how to use a second round pick, the idea of drafting a guy who ends up being a real contributing player, a starter, or even a future MVP, the perceived opportunity cost can tend to outweigh the actual value of the pick. Drafting a player of this caliber in the second round is like finding a diamond in the rough.
Chris Middleton was a second
giving
rounder
away
too.
a pick or a potential player that
Draymond,
ends up
oh yeah, I already knew
being this
Draymond was
caliber
obvious.
would be a mistake that no front office wants to live with. But that doesn't change the fact that the vast majority of the time, these second round picks in the NBA draft go on to be these end of the bench level players. Just out of curiosity, does anyone know who the last few 55th overall picks in the draft were and how their careers are turning out? Last year's 55th overall pick has played 1 game in the NBA. The one before that has played 23 games in 2 seasons.
Warriors.
The 55th pick in 2021.
Whoa.
Last year's 55th.
Why did this motherfucker only play 1? Got 2 points, 0 assists, 3 in the field goal. So he just like an ass of a player. It's just crazy. Like he made it all the way. He's a shooting guard. He's 6'4", 184 pounds. So with the Pacers, born January 28th. So he's got to be it's Capricorns and then it's Aquarius. So he's an Aquarius. Notre Dame. In Pennsylvania, recruiting in 2019, drafted into the NBA player, second round, 25th pick, 55th overall. And debut, and he played 1 year, 1 game in the last year. So, yeah, I don't think he's played 2024. He's probably been benched.
55th overall pick has played 1 game in the NBA. The one before that has played 23 games in 2 seasons.
Warriors.
The 55th pick in 2021, Aaron Wiggins, is actually having himself a solid career so far. But the one before him is out of the league. The one before that one is also out of the league. He's also out of the league, out of the league, out of the league, was never in the league, out of the league, and out of the league. As a late second rounder, if Bronny can contribute on any level in the NBA, he has already exceeded his draft value. And that's really the proposition in all of this. It would be incredible if Bronny developed into a Davion Mitchell or Aaron Holiday caliber player. But the reality is if Bronny can provide any net positive value to his team, then
I think at worst, Bronny will be a better version of Drew Holiday. But I don't know about the other players.
Selecting him in the draft will have been a great pick. There has never been a player projected to go this late in the draft with any expectations on what they should or will do in the league. These late draft picks have historically been reserved for players who might have been overlooked, players who maybe underperformed their potential at the collegiate level, players who organizations are willing to roll the dice on because there's virtually no opportunity costs associated with late second round picks. It's all upside at this point in the draft.
Girl, come on out the dress. Let me take you to dance. I wanna see you roll your hands through your hair.
If they don't work out, well, that's typical. If they do work out, well, then they've beaten the odds. And the very large point being overlooked in all of this talk about potential and value to the team and X's and O's, LeBron James has the opportunity to
Morning,
play
you guys.
basketball
That's
with
the
his
natural
kid
sun.
in the NBA. Let's just be honest.
What'd you
This
say?
basketball with his kid in the NBA. LeBron James has the opportunity to play basketball with his kid in the NBA.
Yep.
Let's just be honest. This is blatant nepotism. A classic case of it's who you know, not what you know. But nepotism has ran rampant in the NBA for decades, and no one cared. Countless players, coaches, executives, owners who got their shot with far less merit than Bronny has. But
I was told that Bronny is a part of the FaZe Clan community and is one of the top ranking players in like Call of Duty and like RPG games and shit like that. So even if he doesn't succeed in this, he still might have a shot in like still succeeding in the streaming world.
But now here we are sitting around talking about the integrity
But the
of a
fact
man.
is that like he has so much weight on his shoulders. It's not gonna be easy. And the fact that he got to put all his time into this, just like his dad did. And if you don't, you won't be this. You won't make those expectations. And that's a lot of weight on Bron, to bear. But that's the weight you decide to take. Your child don't want to perform, you gotta get on him. Not your players, you. Because then you gotta go out and say, you got money in your bag. You want to get up there? You want to keep getting up there? You got to perform it.
Who's played 21 seasons in the league, and his son, because they made the most of an otherwise paltry 55th pick in the draft, and the nepotism leaned in their favor this time around. We can criticize this decision all we want, preach about how this move was a breach of ethics, a slap in the face of the game we love, but then we would all be hypocrites. Because there isn't a man on earth who would pass up on the chance to play in the NBA with his son, even if it meant pulling a few strings to make it happen. As much as Bronny benefits from sharing the same last name as arguably the best basketball player of all time, that tag has also came with equal scrutiny. We have never seen a late second round pick get discussed and limelighted like we've seen with Bronny. But we've also never seen a late second round flyer get completely dissected and criticized like this. LeBron and Bronny have a chance to do something that has never been done in the history of the NBA. And that is worth more than any late second round pick will ever be.
Wow. I mean, High Roller has some interesting points in this video. To be honest, towards the end, he kind of said his full opinion on it. He just basically said that in a situation that it's who you know and not what you know.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree.
I understand,
I really, like I said, if I feel like if Bronny had a different name, he would still be in the NBA.
No,
second round
he would
pick.
not.
So I don't think there would be
No,
anything different.
100% not. 100% not. Let's start there. He wouldn't even been drafted. If he had a different last name, he would not have been drafted. Like, that's 100% false. And you know that for 100% fact. Stop lying to yourself. He is a good player. He has the potential, but you just seen his chart. and they wasn't meeting up to to their expectations. His stats, yes, his overall stats, yes, but his once you look at like his actual overall, like not the overall, but the incremental things that they expect from a standardized second draft, he doesn't meet those expectations. So I don't think he would have even made it if he didn't have Braun as his last name. I mean, James is his last name. So, you know, it makes a tricky situation. But yep, we're gonna see what happens this year. But he's in prospect, so he has to get out of prospect in order to be put as a starter or whatever. But I don't think he'll even be put as a starter. He might just sit bench and have to be a substitute until he show worth, you know. And if he does that, then shit, you can show your worth and stop being substituted, and then you start being a starting pick. You know, so it's a lot, but we will see you guys. Let's see what happens this year. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon for the full and edited uncut reactions. Make sure you guys stay happy, stay hearty, stay healthy. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We're out. Goodbye. Hold up. Oops. Goodbye. Wait. Goodbye.